Some people drink coffee to wake up. Me? I have bought only a shot of whiskey and never go to sleep.
Maybe. We haven't decided.
What the hell you mean you
Yeah?
Hey, Cap. You hiring? Got some baddies on my tail, and I need a place to lay low. I'm a smuggler. Making enemies comes with a job. This time, I got in over my head and made one who's more dangerous than me. I suppose I can't rightly blame you for that. It's the Varun Zealots. They've been on my tail a while. And they're easy enough to avoid in places like this, but I'm history if they see my ship cruising around the space lanes again. Oh, I'm a real scrapper. Good in a fist fight or in the gunner seat. Doesn't matter to me so long as there's a strong drink waiting when the fight's over. I've also got pretty sticky fingers, if that suits you. They're a group of cultists who operate on the edges of known space. Real nutjobs. They shoot at just about anyone who comes near them. They're big on grudges too. That's how I ended up on their radar. If the Varun Zealots don't sound like a problem to you, then I can't wait to see what you're made of. Wouldn't be much of a smuggler if I wasn't willing to cut a deal, would I? Let's hash it out. Huh. That makes a lot of sense, now that I think about it. You're a good negotiator, Cap. I'll cut you a deal. Sure, fine by me. I'm looking forward to the adventure. Sounds like a plan. Let's catch up later. Thanks again for the save. Sorry. All this waiting is putting me to sleep. Thought you'd never ask, Cap. Bad call on my part, honestly. I ran into a group of them at a spaceport and thought I'd try my hand at stealing some stuff from one of their ships. House Varun stuff sells for a pretty penny to the right people, but it's hard to come by. The Zealots caught me red-handed and chased me out of town. They've been on my tail ever since. Can't go a week without getting shot at. That's why I was hanging up the key when we met. Only place I felt safe, really. Only stories. I've heard they're a religious cult that worships something called the Great Serpent. It's supposed to live in the stars or something. Their leader's supposed to have dreamed the whole thing up during a grav jump. Guess he had some hallucination where the Great Serpent spoke to him. Don't know if any of that's true, though. No one I knows had a conversation with one of them. Cap, no one's a fan of those nut jobs. I don't know many spacers who could survive a close encounter with a Varun ship. They're lethal. Most people who hang out at the last Nova walk around armed, that's all. Figured that would give me a better shot at survival if the Zealots came calling. Doubt it. The Zealots are unforgiving to say the least. Guess that means you're stuck with me, eh? If you want to go for it, be my guest. Just ditch my ass at the closest bar first, will you? It's nothing short of a miracle that they haven't killed me yet. I'm not interested in tempting fate. Now let's talk about something else. My skin's starting to crawl. Gagarin landing. Your average dead-end mining town. Economy's crap, planet's hostile, locals don't like strangers. You get the drill. Not exactly New Atlantis. I grew up on the street with a handful of other orphans. We got by on pickpocketing and scamming passing pilots at the local market. Wasn't it a bad life, really? Street living was tough, but I liked it there. My gang and I had lots of good times. If the smuggling bug hadn't bitten me, I might have grown old in Gagarin. Sure, might retire there someday, but that's a long ways off. I'll make do with the occasional visit for the time being. Nope, not a clue. They left me in a box outside Chunks when I was a baby and haven't tried to find me since. They didn't even bother to give me a name. People just called me Kiddo until I was old enough to pick something different. They're the finest group of vagabonds in the settled systems. None of us had stable families, so we stuck together on the streets for safety. Some left when we grew up, but those of us who hung around became the terror of Gagarin. By the time we were teenagers, there wasn't a clean record among us. We drove security mad for years between the stealing, the vandalism, and the grifts we pulled off. Good times. Yeah, they are. Some stuck with a life of crime, but a few turned legit and opened businesses, or got jobs for the corporations that moved to town recently. Not my bag, but I don't hold it against them. Not a bit. A record's a badge of honor for a girl like me, Cap. Security has booked me for petty theft, vandalism, and attempting to sell contraband. Never done hard time, though. A few weeks in jail, nothing serious. My gang drew the line at violent crime, so we mostly avoided hefty sentences. Suppose you're right, Cap. Not sure there's much I can do about that now, though. The girl's got to make her way somehow. Gagarin's an acquired taste, I'll give you that. That's what I like about it. Bad call on my part. I got caught red-handed trying to steal something off of one of their ships. They've been after me ever since. I'm ready to get back out there. I'm up for that. Been a while now since I got into the business. First hopped on a trade authority ship at 18, and I've been working the space lanes ever since. I was lucky enough to work with one of the best smugglers in the galaxy right from the get-go. We made tons of credits scamming and running contraband together. She retired a couple years back and passed her operation on to me. Been flying solo since. Not nearly as much fun, but I'll make do all right without her. Oh, Caitlyn's got a real interesting story. She comes from a rich family and her parents had a thing for collecting ancient art. She was set to inherit a fortune when she grew up, but life with a silver spoon didn't suit her. She ran away from home as a teenager to start smuggling. Knowing her now, you'd never guess she came from money. She's as rough around the edges as I am, but she never lost her taste for expensive stuff from Earth. I tried to scam her. Some buds and I used to steal cargo from the Gagarin spaceport and sell it back to its owner for a higher price. Most people fell for it, but not her. Instead of a handful of credits, she showed up to meet us with 2 armed spacers to demand her goods back for free. I stepped in to negotiate, got them to drop the guns, and even managed a few credits for the stuff. Caitlyn was so impressed that she offered me a job on the spot. She has a large book collection. Her prized possession was a book called Paradise Lost that she came across by chance in Aquila City. Personally, I never got through more than a few pages, but to each their own. She insisted it was brilliant, and she's a hell of a lot smarter than me. She's like a big sister to me. I wouldn't trade her for anything. It's too bad she retired before you had a chance to meet her. I think you'd get on well. Jeez, listen to me going on. All this reminiscing's got me feeling like a real sap. Mainly drugs and contraband tech. My partner Caitlyn also had a thing for Earth antiquities. Books especially. When we could get our hands on the real thing, we sold them to collectors who were rich and powerful enough to keep law enforcement's eyes off our operation. When we couldn't get real ones, we forged them. Caitlyn was great at it. We ran that scam for years and never got found out. She did. I made plenty of my own too. Caitlyn's too smart to get wrapped up in a mess like I'm in with the Zealots. She'd kick my arse if she found out. It was. Damn good thing this job turned out to be a decent substitute. I might have split by now if it wasn't. Varun Zealots or not. Anything else you wanted to ask me? I've missed small talk. I could do this all day. We should do this again sometime.